Good morning. Welcome, welcome. I know this is about 1 minute late, but I tried doing the live video in my Facebook event post and I don't know if that works. So I went back to just posting on my Facebook page. So welcome to Kids Yoga. I'll give a minute or two for people to hop on here. Maybe you need to use the restroom. Maybe you need to get some water that you can have kind of by your yoga mat. If you have a yoga mat, you don't need a yoga mat. You can be on a carpet, you can be on a floor. Today we are going to be talking about calm, just a little bit about calm. But mostly we're going to be having fun, breathing, moving, doing things together, having some online community during these uncertain times. So welcome. I see people are starting to sign on. People are starting to watch. I apologize for the little bit of a late start because I tried to do something a little different by posting in my event, but I don't think it was reaching people, so that is why we started at like 10:01 or 10:02. So welcome. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with our singing bowl. We're going to take a couple breaths with our singing bowl. I do have my mats. I set up 2 mats this time. So when I'm doing floor stuff, I'm going to be right here. And when we do standing up stuff, I'm going to move back. So hopefully you can hear me okay and you can maybe see the postures a little bit better. So we're going to start with our singing bowl. We're going to take 3 breaths together. So when we hear the sound of the singing bowl, we take a breath through our nose and maybe a breath out of our mouth. And another way we can breathe is we can breathe in through our nose and out through our nose, sealing our lips together. Maybe noticing what our body likes today. And then one more breath. And welcome to Kids Yoga. I know for some of you it's morning, for some of you it's bedtime. So whether it's a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, I'm so glad you showed up today. So we're going to start by choosing our yoga space. So we're going to maybe tap the front of our yoga mat or the floor, noticing how our fingers feel. Maybe we can do slow, maybe a little fast, and then maybe we tap to one side, reaching over, getting a little bit of a gentle stretch, coming back around to the front. Maybe you'd like to try reaching to the other side. Noticing how our body feels over here, and then maybe reaching back with our fingers pointed towards our seat, giving a gentle sway to our shoulders. And then I'm going to move to the side because we're going to do what's called reverse tabletop. So as your fingers are pointed towards your seat, we're just going to lift our hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe we'd like to gently release our head back if it's okay with our neck. Just holding this for 1, 2, 3, big breath in, and then exhale and lower down. And then we can you probably didn't move like I did, be back in our seated position. Maybe you noticed a little bit of a feeling in your shoulders. Maybe you noticed something in your back, just noticing how our body's feeling today. And so, excuse me, we're going to rub our hands. Sorry, I hear my dog barking outside. Maybe rub our feet. Noticing how that feels, right? Rubbing those hands. Maybe shaking out one hand, shaking out the other hand, maybe shaking both hands, maybe shaking your hands high, wiggling those fingers toward the ceiling, down low, maybe over to one side, maybe over to the other side. And maybe you'd like to get everything involved here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting back in our crisscross. We'll do a couple of circle breaths today. With our hands down at our side, we're going to inhale, pressing our hands together over our head, and then exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more, just like that. Your breath in, your breath out, your breath in, your breath out, and then doing some circles, 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 freeze. Nice and still. Now maybe we can try going the other direction. Circles, 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 freeze. Nice and still. Now this time we're going to take a big breath through our nose and we're going to do big circles. So your breath in through your nose. Circles, 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 freeze. And then another breath through your nose. Maybe you can go the other direction. Circles, 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 freeze. And then we're gonna rub our hands, and we're gonna do the rub your hands song, and it goes like this. Rub your hands, sit up tall, take a deep breath. Are you ready? Rub your hands, sit up tall, take a deep breath. And maybe this can be your biggest breath of the day. Rub your hands, sit up tall, take a deep breath. And then rubbing those hands again, we're gonna maybe bring those hands in front of our nose and our mouth. And we're gonna just do a little bit of breath here, blowing on our fire. Blowing on our fire. So we're gonna inhale, and then maybe noticing how your breath feels on your hands and how it sounds. Let's do 2 more just like that. Your breath in. Long breath out. Maybe blowing on our fire and making our heat just a little bit more. Here we go. Ready? Your breath in. Blowing your breath all the way out. Maybe gently shaking out one hand and gently shaking out the other hand. And now we're going to do a new breath called candle breath. And we're going to do candle breath today because there's a special yogi watching named Kinsley who has a birthday today. So we are going to do candle breath in honor of Kinsley. So we're going to clasp our fingers and have our thumbs and our pointer fingers just like this, like it's a steeple, okay? And maybe you can say with me, well, first we'll do the breath, and then we're gonna say happy birthday to Kinsley, okay? So first of all, we're gonna inhale a long breath in through our nose, and then we're gonna blow our candle out with a long exhale out. Nice job, everybody. All right, nice and strong. So now we're gonna say, happy birthday, Kinsley. Yeah, happy birthday to you. I'm so glad you have a special day today. We're gonna inhale through our nose and we're gonna blow out your birthday candles with you. So your breath in. And then one more, your breath in. Happy birthday, Kinsley. So let's gently shake out those hands. Gently shake out those other hands. And then can you wiggle those fingers? Yeah, wiggling those fingers. Maybe wiggling them up high. Wiggling them right back here. And we're gonna take our thumb to our pinky, our thumb to our ring finger, our thumb to our middle finger, and our thumb to our pointer finger. But maybe today you just wanna tap, tap, tap like this, like you've got crab hands, okay? Or tap, 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 tap. And today we're gonna say, I can be calm. And one of the ways we can be calm is through our breath. And so we're gonna say that 2 times out loud. We're gonna say that 2 times as a whisper, and then we're gonna say it 2 times just in our mind. So as a class, we're gonna do this together with I can be calm. I can be calm. And now we're gonna whisper it. I can be calm. I can be calm. And then we're gonna say it just in our mind. I'm gonna count to 3 and we're gonna do it all together. Remember this? Whatever is most comfortable for your body today. So 3, 2, 1. Nice, gently shaking out those hands, maybe rubbing them one more time, putting our hands over our heart, taking a couple of breaths together before we start getting into some yoga movement, yoga posture movement. So your breath in, your breath out, your breath in, your breath out. One more. And then maybe wiggling in our seat to do a couple of cobra breaths. So if this is your first time with me, cobra breath looks like this. We have our hands at our side. We're gonna do what's called a circle breath. Inhale up, pressing our palms together over our head, and then rocking back and forth, making a wiggling movement, maybe, or just breathing out, your choice. So 3 more. 2 more. One more cobra breath. And then we're going to make our way onto our hands and our knees, doing our cat-cow and our puppy dog. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to the side for you so you can kind of see how this looks if this is your first time with us. Starfish hands. We've got our starfish hands. We've got a flat back or tabletop, this is also known as. So for cow, we're going to tilt our chin and our chest toward the ceilings and just drop our belly button area down towards the floor. And see, we've got a sway in our back like a cow, like a moo. You can move if you'd like. It's kind of fun to be silly. So moo. And then for cat, we're gonna reach our shoulders up towards the ceiling, looking towards our belly button, maybe between our legs, like a hollowing cat on a fence with a meow or a okay? And back to tabletop. So we do cow with a moo, and then we look towards our belly button like a cat with a meow. So now we're gonna add breath. So you can meet me in tabletop. And with the inhale, we're gonna do cow. And with the exhale, we're gonna do cat. So we're gonna inhale to cow, exhale to cat. Inhale to cow, exhale to cat. Inhale to cow, exhale to cat. One more, inhale to cow, exhale to cat. And then we're gonna sit back and gently shake out those hands because we probably are warming up our wrists a little bit. Like maybe you felt your wrists were like, ooh, I'm a little tired. So we're just gonna shake those out a little bit. Maybe to the side and to the other side. Nice, all right. So that was cat-cow. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to do the cat, or it's like a kitty cat reaching out its front leg and its back leg. So we're gonna reach out one hand and one arm, the opposite leg. So I'll stand to the side so you can see. We're reaching out one hand, opposite leg, okay? So here we are. We're gonna take an inhale here, just reaching those fingers and pointing those toes. Inhale, and then exhale, just holding this position, holding this yoga. So right here, maybe you notice, oh, you're a little wobbly. If your toe touches down, that's okay. You can touch it down, bring it up. We're just noticing how our body feels this morning. One more breath, inhale, reaching those fingers and toes, exhale, back down to our tabletop. Nice and strong, everybody. Let's do one cat-cow here. Let's your breath into cow, tilting that chin up, and then your breath out to cat, looking towards your belly button and lifting those shoulders up to the ceiling. Nice and strong. All right, we're gonna do the other side now. So reaching out the other arm and the other leg. Oh, you might notice, oh, the balance is a little different on this side, or maybe it's the same. We're just noticing our body this morning. We're gonna do one big breath, reaching our fingers, pointing those toes, holding here for the exhale. One more reach. Back down to our tabletop with the exhale. And we're gonna do another cat-cow here. Your breath into cow. Your breath into cat. Nice and strong. All right, let's sit back here for just a moment, gently shaking out those hands. Nice and strong. Maybe you feel you're getting a little warm. Maybe you notice your shoulders are feeling a little warm. Just maybe noticing how our body feels this morning. Noticing how our body feels. And then with one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly, we're going to take a couple of breaths as a class, maybe listening to our breath, or maybe you can even feel your heart beating. So your breath in, your breath out, your breath in, your breath out. Maybe notice how your body starts to feel as we do the long inhale in and the long exhale out. So your breath in, your breath out. Okay, so when you're ready, we're gonna come back up to our hands and our knees. Maybe you need to watch for a minute, but you can join us anytime. Reaching out that one hand in the opposite leg, and this time we're gonna inhale and then elbow to knee. Inhale, elbow to knee. So I'm gonna move to the side. Inhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, exhale to tabletop. Okay, letting everybody get into their tabletop. One breath in tabletop. Your breath out. Okay, reaching out the opposite hand and the opposite leg. Your breath in. Elbow to knee. 3 more. Elbow to knee. Your breath in. Elbow to knee. 1 more. Down to our tabletop. Let's do 1 more cat-cow. Your breath into cow. Your breath into cat. And then sitting back, gently shaking out those hands. So strong, so strong, so strong, so strong. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called elevator breath. So with elevator breath, we're gonna set our hands on our bellies. Now, if you've ever been in an elevator, you know it's this little room you go into and you press the button and the door's shut and the elevator climbs up and stops. The doors open, people get on or off, the doors close, and then the elevator might go back down. So we are gonna do what's called elevator breath. So we're gonna inhale, then the elevator doors are gonna open, our friends are gonna get off, our elevator doors are gonna shut, and then we're gonna exhale back down to the ground floor of our elevator. You can be sitting on your knees, you can be sitting in crisscross, your choice, however you'd like to be seated. So with your breath in, we're gonna inhale, the elevator's gonna stop, the doors are gonna open, our friends are gonna get off, the doors are gonna shut, and then we're gonna exhale all the way back down to the ground floor. Let's do a couple more elevator breaths together. So your breath in, elevator doors open, people get on, elevator doors shut. Nice. Nice and strong. Okay, 1 more elevator breath all together. Maybe you can imagine what floor you're going to. Sometimes the kids in my class are like, floor 1000. You can imagine that number if you would like, or whatever number you would like. All right, here we go. You got that number in your head, how high you're going? All right, here we go. Your breath in. The elevator stops, the doors open, our friends get on, the elevator doors shut. All the way back down to the ground floor. Maybe notice how your body feels now after we did the elbow to knee and we got kind of our heart beating and then we did elevator breath. Did you notice how your body found some calm? We can find calm right now with breath. So these are some tools that you can use at home during this time, okay? Some good breath tools. All right, we're gonna come and do our downward dog now. So we're on our hands and our knees, remember starfish hands. Hands on our knees, tucking those toes, pretending there's a string, lifting our lower back up towards the ceiling, just like that. Okay, so I'll turn to the side here so you can see. So we are up, we are on our hands and our knees and tabletop, tucking the toes, pretending there's a string on our lower back, lifting us up. Yes, nice and strong. So I'm gonna move back towards to face you here. We're in our downward dog. Maybe you'd like to bend your knees left and right. Left and right. Maybe you're noticing your legs are stretching out a little bit. Pulling those shoulders back. Maybe you're looking up towards your belly button. Maybe you'd like to walk up and down or around a little bit, walking your dog. And we're going to walk that dog for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into our downward dog. Maybe bending your knees left and right again, back and forth, wagging your tail for 3, 2, 1, until we come into total stillness, like we're a dog statue. Your breath in, your breath out. One more breath, your breath. You try your breath in. And then coming back down to our knees, gently shaking out our hands, noticing maybe how our body feels after that downward dog. Hands over our heart, your breath in, your breath out. One more breath. All right, well, we're gonna do rainbow pose now. So with rainbow pose, I'll turn to the side so you can see. You're gonna have one knee behind you and one leg outstretched, okay? So if I turn to the side here, you can see the one knee, okay? So you've got one knee directly behind you, one leg stretched out, hand right down here, and we're gonna lift up. I know it's hard to see from, let me back up a little bit so you can see my arm. Thanks for your patience. So we're gonna reach up nice and tall, and from here we're just gonna reach toward the ceiling, your breath in, and then reaching over our ear like we're part of a rainbow, your breath out. And we're gonna do 2 more breaths. See, wiggling those fingers, can you wiggle those fingers? All right, reaching those fingers a little bit more, your breath out, wiggling those fingers, reaching a little bit more, your breath out, and then bringing our hands down and crawling towards the front like we're in tabletop again, sitting back on our knees, gently shaking out those hands, because in yoga we do both sides. We do both sides, so we're gonna come up on the other side. It's okay if you're doing opposite knee. The most important thing is that we do both sides. Okay, so we've got our knee straight, we've got our leg straight back behind us, we've got our foot pointed out, we're reaching down to the side, and we're reaching that arm straight up. And first we're gonna inhale and reach toward the ceiling, and then exhale and reach over our ear. You may notice this side might feel different. Maybe you don't reach as far, that's okay. Just listen to your body. Notice how your body feels. So your breath, wiggling those fingers. Okay, now where those fingers are wiggling, reach a little bit more. Your breath out. Wiggling those fingers, reach a little bit more. Your breath out. Wiggle those fingers down to your yoga mat, back into our hands and our knees. We're gonna do a couple of cat-cows here before we stand up. So your breath in, cat-cow. Your breath out, cat. Meow, right? Your breath in, cow. Your breath in, cat. Meow. Sitting back and gently shaking out those hands. Yeah, nice. All right, well, we're gonna stand up now. You can join me on your yoga mat, standing nice and tall. I'm going to stand towards the back so you can see me a little bit better. Hopefully you can hear me. But the first thing we're gonna do is mountain pose and sun breath, and then we're gonna do a forward fold with rain breath, okay? So with mountain pose, because we're talking, it's springtime now. It might be snowing in some places. With mountain pose, we're gonna roll one shoulder back and roll the other shoulder back. We're gonna stand up nice and tall, and we're gonna just pretend there's a string on our head, pulling us up to the ceiling, towards the ceiling. Your breath in, your breath out. We're gonna do one more breath, just like that. And now we're just gonna do sun breath. We're just gonna make a circle with our hands and touch our fingertips and bring our hands down to our side. And at the top of our sun breath, after 2 times, we're gonna do rain breath down into forward fold. So it's gonna look like this. Sun breath, there's a circle, and we're just exhaling. And then we're gonna do another sun breath. And then we're gonna just rain all the way down. You can bend your knees and gently touch your floor, dropping your head down, maybe shaking it yes, shaking it no, just feeling a gentle, gentle stretch here. And then we're gonna inhale up for another sun breath. Exhale down. And then we're gonna do another sun to rain. So we're gonna inhale the sun, wiggling those fingers down, bending those knees maybe if it's more comfortable, gently touching your fingertips to the mat if you can, letting your head hang heavy, maybe you're shaking your head no or yes if that's comfortable. And we're gonna do one more of these. We're gonna inhale the sun, and here we go to rain. Bending those knees, just a gentle forward fold. Maybe you're swaying a little bit from side to side. One big breath here with your breath in through your nose, your breath out, and then one more sun breath. And then we're gonna roll the shoulder back, rolling our other shoulder back, taking a breath in mountain pose before we go into tree pose. So your breath in for mountain pose. Remember that string on the top of your head pulling you up towards the ceiling? So your breath in, your breath out. All right, well, we're gonna do what's called Seasons of the Tree today. So in tree pose, we have our feet planted firmly on the floor, and you can bring your foot just with your toes on the ground into what's called a kickstand, gently having your knee out, okay? So this is perfectly fine. You can also bring your foot to your calf. Some of you might even be able to bring your foot way up here. So listening to your body, listening to your body. So this is tree with our foot as a kickstand, okay? Picking what works best for you, what feels best in your body today. Maybe we can press our hands together. Right here, pressing our hands together, one breath here. Maybe on this next breath, you would like to grow your branches. You might not be able to see the top of my arms, but you know they're reaching toward the ceiling. And we're gonna spread those fingers wide. So your breath in, reaching up nice and tall. Maybe you could wiggle those fingers, your breath out. Maybe it's a springy day. Maybe our fingers wiggling are breezy day. Maybe our fingers wiggling are leaves coming out, yeah. And then we're gonna come to stillness. And we're gonna grow our branches up towards the ceiling, our pretend branches. So we're gonna inhale and reach those hands. Your breath out. Maybe this time you'd like to look up towards the ceiling and try that, see how your balance is. Your breath out. And then your breath in, reaching up. Hands to heart center. And then we're gonna gently shake out those legs. So you may have found that you were a little wobbly and you fell out. You can always get back in. You can leave your toe down. You can bring your foot up. You can do it different on the other side too if you'd like, okay? So on this side, we're gonna bring our toe as a kickstand. Noticing how that feels. Maybe we'd like to inch that foot up. Notice how this side feels. Noticing how that side feels in tree pose. If you'd like to try pressing your hands together and noticing how that feels. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and come on into tree pose. We're gonna take your breath in here. Your breath out. And maybe on this breath, you'd like to reach your hands up towards the ceiling, wiggling those fingers. Taking a couple breaths here, just noticing. Maybe you'd like to, maybe it's breezy. Maybe it's breezy where you're at. And maybe you're wobbling because you're breezy. If you fall out, that's okay. Come back in. And then we're gonna wiggle those fingers, and maybe you'd like to try to reach a little bit more towards the ceiling. Your breath in, your breath out. And maybe you'd like to try to look up towards the ceiling this time, noticing how balance is. Your breath in, your breath out. One more tree breath, big breath in. Hands to heart center. And then gently shaking out those feet. Yeah, nice and strong. We'll do a couple balloon breaths standing here. If you haven't learned balloon breath yet, you just gently press your hands together with your fingertips. We're gonna make a little balloon, just like this, and pressing it closed, like we're letting all the air out. So we're gonna do a few balloon breaths here. So your breath in, your breath out, your breath in, two more, your breath, one more, all right. Okay, I'm gonna come heading down this way. You can come make your way down on your yoga mat. We did a few standing postures. And now we are gonna come down and do a couple on the floor. So if you would like to join me now, we're gonna have our feet at an angle, coming down into frog pose or squat. Just finding a comfortable spot here. So our feet are out at a little angle. We've got our hands pressed together and our elbows are in between, pressing our knees out. Or maybe you'd like to be like this, like a frog. So either maybe we're a frog today, or maybe we're planting our garden, okay? Planting our garden, okay? So we can maybe be either of those things. But first what we're gonna do is we're gonna be here in our frog pose, and we're gonna inhale and lift up one toe on one side, like we're a walking, hobbling frog. And then exhale, and then an inhale on the other side with an exhale. And maybe you'd like to try both feet. Exhale, and then maybe you're planting your garden, okay? Planting your garden. And then we are going to step back down to our bellies. And you might remember this from another yoga class. We're gonna do our snake pose, So I'm gonna move back here so you can see it a little better. But we're laying on our bellies with our hands underneath our shoulders, and we're gonna have our toes tapping the floor. Can you hear my toes tapping? All right, so I'm gonna come back around so I can face you, because I like looking at you. And first we're gonna do a baby snake, okay? So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tap those toes, maybe make a little bit of a rattle, maybe tap them a little louder, a little quieter, pressing those toes into the ground, just using our chin and our chest, not our hands. Our hands are just there to just hold us there. We're gonna do a little bit of a baby snake. So your breath in, your breath out. Maybe you can even do this. And another baby cobra. We're gonna tap those toes again, noticing where our toes are on the floor, and then bringing those toes to complete stillness. I do have a teenage boy walking in the camera, if you noticed him. And then we're gonna your breath in, and then two more, just like that, bigger cobra, lifting more up towards the ceiling. And one more. And then maybe laying your ear down on your yoga mat or the floor. You can also have your hands stacked with your chin on your hands. Taking a couple breaths here just in our belly down resting position. Your breath in, your breath out. Two more your breaths. One more. And then we're gonna move up to our knees for just a moment so that we can do a fist breath. And then we'll do another posture and begin to start winding down our yoga class. So we're gonna do our fist breath. Again, our focus is calm and using breath to calm. So maybe we are struggling with anger or frustration this week, or we're nervous or we're anxious, this is a great breath for that. So with this breath, we have our palms up and we squeeze our hands on the inhale, open our hands on the exhale. Squeeze our hands on the inhale, open our hands on the exhale. One more. Then we're going to come down for one more belly down posture. And we're going to do, it's known as full locust, but we can pretend we're caterpillars too, okay? And we've done this one before. We reach our hands out in front of us and we have our feet straight behind us. So again, I'm going to come to the back of my yoga mat so you can see me a little better. And on an inhale, we're going to lift both feet, both arms, and then exhale down. So maybe you'd like to pretend you're a caterpillar in a garden. Or if you want to be, you could be Superman too. That's another one. So, but since we're kind of focused on spring, I thought it'd be kind of fun to be a bug. So we're going to inhale and lift everything. Exhale and lower. Inhale and lift everything. Lower. Inhale and lift everything. Okay. And remember, we can do hard things, so we're going to hold our caterpillar for one breath. Your breath in. Hold for a breath. Your breath in. Lift a little higher maybe. And lower all the way down. With your ear on the floor, or maybe your hands crossed with your chin on your palms. Maybe you'd like to bend your legs. Windshield wiper them back and forth for just a moment. A couple of your breaths here. Your breath in. Maybe you notice your heart beating. Maybe you can bring your feet to stillness, and this time when you take a breath in, notice your belly lifting. And then your body sinking back down into your yoga mat. Another breath here. One more breath. And then when you're ready, you can place your hands under your shoulders and gently push yourself up to a seated position. A seated position here, where we sit in butterfly pose for just a moment. That's where we take our feet together. We have our feet flat together just like this, so you can see me. And we're just gonna sit here for just a moment. Maybe you could flap your wings for a moment. Maybe pretending there's a string lifting you up. Your breath in, your breath out. Maybe on this breath we lift our wings, drop our wings, lifting our wings, dropping our wings, and then gently extending our feet with our hands maybe resting on our yoga mat or on our knees or our thighs, and we're gonna flex our toes towards our nose with an inhale, point our toes on the exhale. Flex, point, flex, point. Then gently reaching out those arms, maybe wiggling those fingers. I'm gonna lay to the side so you can see me a little bit better. We're gonna go ahead and slowly, slowly, slowly roll all the way down to the floor with our hands at our side, our toes kind of facing up towards the ceiling. Maybe they fall out a little, facing walls. Maybe you'd like to adjust your shoulders a little bit. Maybe your hands are facing the ceiling. Maybe they feel better on the ground or on the floor. You might find it more comfortable to have your hands on your belly or one hand on your heart or your belly. But just taking a moment to notice, how does my body best feel in this resting position? How do I best feel down here? Noticing how you feel. Picking what's best for your body today. And then maybe we wiggle our toes a little bit, bringing those to stillness. Wiggling our fingers a little bit, maybe squeeze them and release them, wiggling them, bringing those to stillness. Maybe we'd like to try to look left and right, being gentle with our neck. Just looking a little bit, and then bringing our whole body to stillness. Taking a couple of breaths here, your breath in, your breath out. Maybe noticing the breath in your back this time, your breath in, your breath out. And then bringing attention to your hands and your fingers. And so we're going to make fists with our hands, and you can make them as tight or as loose as you would like, depending on what your body likes today. And we're going to squeeze those hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your hands. Your breath in. Your breath out. And next, we're going to bring attention to our shoulders. Maybe you'd like to press your shoulders down towards the floor or shrug your shoulders up towards your ear, your choice, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your shoulders. Your breath in. Your breath out. And then we're going to notice our belly and our belly button. And if you're lying on your back, you can pull your belly button down towards the floor or squeezing your belly in wherever you may be for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your belly. Your breath in. Your breath out. And then we're going to bring attention to our toes. Maybe you'd like to point those toes. Maybe you'd like to pull your toes back towards your nose like you're flexing. Maybe you'd like to press your feet down towards the floor. Your choice. And we're going to either point, flex, or press to the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your feet. Your breath in. Your breath out. And then we're going to bring attention to our face. Maybe you'd like to raise your eyebrows. Maybe you'd like to squeeze your eyes shut or wrinkle up your nose, but we're going to just make our face as tight as we can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your face.
What?
I'm filming. Your breath in. Your breath out. Your breath in. Your breath out. And then finally, we're going to tense up our whole body. We're going to squeeze those hands, flex those feet, scrunch up that face for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your whole body. Your breath in. Your breath out. Your breath in. Your breath out. And then we're going to wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes, maybe shake your head side to side. Oh. If you would like to, you can roll to one side on your next breath, like this. Like this. Your breath in, your breath out. And then when you're ready, gently pushing up to a seated position. Gently pushing up to a seated position. Maybe rolling one shoulder back. One more. And I am so glad you joined me today. So maybe you'd like to gently shake out those hands, waking our body up a little bit more, flowing with maybe a few live interruptions in my house. Just a quick reminder of the breaths we did today. We did circle breaths, hands to heart center. You can rub your hands, and remember we rubbed our hands and we blew on our hands like this. Right? We did our candle breath, celebrating Kinsley today with our We also did fist breath with your breath in. We did balloon breath. The long exhale out is what gives our body the calming. It resets our nervous system. So any of those breaths would be great breaths for you to use.